Good morning. Welcome to the forecast discussion for Monday, January 12th, 2015. It is an early morning at 4 a.m., and we have a potential ice event on the way for the metropolitan areas of Philadelphia and New York City, and of course the northern suburbs. More concerned about the suburbs just north of Philadelphia and New York City rather than the immediate metro area because of the urban heat island, for one, especially in New York City with the streets having those steam pipes. When you're dealing with freezing rain, it's really difficult to get that freezing rain to really materialize despite the forecast. And I'm also a little bit more concerned about the interior, especially northwest New Jersey, northeastern Pennsylvania, for the potential of up to a quarter of an inch of ice. Some model guidance has even more than that. I'm not ready to go that route yet, especially considering the boundary temperatures, but still, it's something to keep an eye on. Currently, temperatures range from the mid to upper 30s along the coast and upper 20s to lower 30s over the interior. I should note that I just got new data that came in, hasn't loaded up on here yet, but temperatures have fallen about 2 degrees, 2 to 3 degrees on average along the coast as our precipitation is moving in. Now, notice the temperature and the dew point here. When the temperatures do what we call wet bulb, that's when the temperatures reach the equilibrium in order to allow for precipitation to fall. Temperatures are expected to fall pretty close to freezing, and that's what we just saw just in the last couple of minutes with the latest observations that came in. Take these temperatures and knock off about 3 degrees, so about 36, 35, about 35 here in Philadelphia, and those temperatures are going to continue to fall initially as that precipitation builds in, allowing for that sleet and freezing rain. There is sleet in central New Jersey right now, and it looks like it's going to be a little bit icy till at least 11 a.m. at the latest. Then after that, conditions will rapidly improve throughout the entire Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area. Taking a look at the radar, we're going to use the weather tap radar, and I'm really not supposed to use this, but I figured because of the seriousness of the situation, especially with ice in the middle of a rush hour in New York City and Philadelphia, I'll risk the chance here. Now, what we have here is the initial shot of precipitation. Here's our steady precipitation back here. Now here's what's key. This part right here is going to start to fill in as it's moving east, but it will be light. So that's the key point here, and that's what's keeping us out of the ice storm classification here, is that when this heavy precipitation gets towards the region, well, basically we'll be out of the clear as far as the frozen precipitation potential, because by then our temperatures will be warming above freezing. So that's the whole key to the forecast, that our temperatures, especially in the interior, rise above freezing before this heavy precipitation builds in. And if the cold air had been able to stay in place, this would have been a major winter storm. Why didn't it? Well, let me show you the surface map here. It's pretty simple. See this high pressure system? If this high pressure system was here rather than out here, what you would get is a northeasterly wind rather than a southwesterly wind or a southerly wind. As you can guess, a southerly or southwesterly wind warms up our atmosphere. However, if this high pressure system had been able to lock in over Maine, we would have been dealing with a far more serious situation. As it is, this low pressure system will continue to race northeast ahead of this Arctic cold front. These two will interact, but by the time they do, most of the precipitation will be done, and our temperatures will then start crash tonight as that cold air works in. It's all about timing here. If this cold front here was just a little bit faster, and some of the earlier model guidance did have this cold front moving in a little bit faster, then we would have been dealing with a far different forecast, with cold air pressing in, precipitation moving in, and a wintry mix changing over to snow rather than a wintry mix changing over to rain. As it is, this low pressure system is faster, this cold front is slower, and thus you end up with a wintry mix over to rain for the region. As far as the water vapor satellite picture is concerned, plenty of moisture from the Gulf of Mexico racing northward towards our region, plenty of rain and freezing rain on the way. And on our infrared satellite picture, you can see plenty of lifting as well. Notice those blues, yellows, and oranges over the southeast, lifting northeast towards our neck of the woods over the next 12 hours. And here comes our Arctic cold front. You can see the cold air right here. This is all cold air, not cloud cover, building south and east towards our location. So let's take a look at the threat impact for this storm. Again, right along the coast, this green area, pretty much rain can be expected here. We're looking at anywhere from about a quarter of an inch to as much as 3/4 of an inch of rain on through 8 p.m. tonight. A little bit further north and east, and this is the I-95 area once again. This includes Wilmington, Philadelphia, Trenton, New York City, portions of southern Connecticut right along the coast. The idea here is that those temperatures are going to fall just enough to allow for some snow, sleet, and freezing rain, leading to anywhere from a trace to as much as a tenth of an inch of ice. Now, this high end here is especially a concern for locations just north and west of New York City, especially around northeastern New Jersey, around Yonkers, New York, and right around Trenton and northern suburbs of Trenton and northern suburbs of Philadelphia. So that's where that ice potential really is going to show up. By 10 a.m., it's all done. Rain takes over, and we are in a much better situation as far as our icy conditions. Unfortunately, the damage is already done for the rush hour, so please use some caution. Now, in this pink area here, this is where I'm really concerned. Not so much in snow. You trace at most 2 inches and maybe in the first burst, but I'm really concerned about the ice here, up to a quarter of an inch of ice. I think this is a high threat potential here in these areas like Allentown, Reading, Lancaster, York, Hazleton, up towards northern New Jersey and up through much of Connecticut here, especially central and northeastern Connecticut, right around Hartford. These areas are going to be able to keep that cold air locked in longer, and as a result, you're going to have more sleet and freezing rain developing. All the latest mesoscale models all point to that potential, and quite frankly, so does the transient precipitation along with the temperatures. So, this is something that we're going to have to significantly watch. Again, the threat really isn't all about snow, it's all about the sleet and freezing rain. And then again, further north and west around Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, and portions of the Hudson River Valley around Poughkeepsie and northwestern Connecticut. A little bit more snow here. Again, 1 to 3 inches of snow is expected. Still a high threat potential for ice. And then we all go over to rain by 11 a.m. By 11 a.m., the wintry portion of this storm is over as we warm up and our temperatures support just rainfall, heavy rainfall at that, moving through the region. Again, if the cold air has been able to lock in, well, you can pretty much double almost all of these totals if that was the case, including the ice. And then you'd cut in half in rain, obviously. So it would have been a rather significant situation if that had played out, but luckily it did not. So let's take a look at the latest model guidance using the European model guidance from the Penn State EWAL website. Again, today our storm moves through. Temperatures are rising to the mid to upper 30s for highs. For tomorrow, our Arctic high pressure system builds in. How cold will it get? Well, low temperatures will be in the mid-teens over the interior, upper teens to lower 20s over the suburbs of New York City and Philadelphia, and along the immediate coast, lower to mid-20s. And the temperatures won't move all that much after that. We're talking about lower to mid-20s for highs throughout the region. So definitely a very cold day on the way for tomorrow. Then, high pressure will remain in control for Wednesday with slightly milder conditions. Okay, so it's still below freezing and still below normal for this time of year, looking at low temperatures in the single digits over the interior and lower to mid-teens over the coast, high temperatures in the upper 20s to lower 30s throughout the region. Now on Thursday and Friday, we have a wave of low pressure developing off the coast. Looks like this will stay far enough off the coast to keep away the steady precipitation, but I got the threat for a few scattered snow showers in place, especially on Thursday afternoon on through Friday morning. Look for temperatures to range in the lower to mid-teens over the interior, upper teens to lower 20s along the coast, lower to mid-30s over the interior, and mid-30s along the coast for highs. On Friday, mid to upper teens over the interior, lower to mid-20s along the coast, and mid to upper 30s for lows. So then we go on through the weekend. Arctic high pressure is in control for the most part. We'll have to watch out for a clipper that's going to move through on Tuesday. That could be rather interesting for us with the threat for some snow showers. Other than that, looking at temperatures ranging from the upper teens to lower 20s over the interior, mid to upper 20s along the coast, high temperatures in the mid to upper 30s. Then, then we watch out and see what happens next with our weather pattern. As I discussed with premium members this weekend, look, this pattern has some potential, but there's a lot of missing parts here that I could pick apart and say no to a winter storm. I'll leave that for the premium discussion. That is your forecast discussion for today. Of course, I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. Follow the latest weather information throughout the day at nynjpaweather.com, as we will have live coverage of this storm. Rain, sleet, or snow, you will know what to expect. Thank you for following NYNJPA Weather, and of course, stay safe out there.